Yeah, we are live. I'll share the screen and we take turns to read. First, I see Harita Mataji raised her hand. After that, one after the other, everybody will get a turn to read it. Hope you all able to see the screen. I joined from my old laptop. I don't know.
Not yet, Mataji.
Yeah, I should have joined from a new one. Give me a second. If it is not working, I'll be joining from the other laptop and share the screen. Oh, it's not working, right? Give me a second. Hare Krishna. We will just start. Sorry, my computer. I'll start. Can anyone share the link in the chat box? I'll quickly open it. I don't have WhatsApp open here. I've sent Harita Mataji in the WhatsApp. I've sent the link. Can you put this in the chat box, please, for me?
Okay, Mataji. Yeah, I did, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Thank you so much. This opens. Okay. Sorry for all the late.
No problem, Mataji. It's okay.
Okay. Yeah, here we go. Yeah, Mataji, start reading, Mataji.
Yeah. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances to all the devotees. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. Sayana Ekadasi. The saintly king Yudhishthira Maharaj said, O Keshava, what is the name of that Ekadashi that occurs during the light fortnight of the month of Ashada, June, and July? Who is the worshipable deity for the auspicious day, and what is the process of observing this event? Lord Sri Krishna replied, O caretaker of this earthly planet, I shall gladly tell you a wonderful historical event that the Deva Lord Brahma once narrated to his son Narada Muni. One day, Narada Muni asked his father, what is the name of the Ekadashi that comes during the light part of the month of Ashada, much as you did? Kindly tell me how I should observe this Ekadashi and thus please the Supreme Lord Sri Vishnu. Lord Brahma replied, O great saintly orator, O best of all sages, O purest devotee of Lord Vishnu, your question is as usual excellent for all mankind. There is nothing better than Ekadashi, the day of Lord Sri Hari, in this or any other world. It nullifies even the worst sins if observed properly. For this reason, I shall tell you about this Ashada Shukla Ekadashi. Hare
Thank
Krishna.
you, Mataji. So Devi, go ahead.
Fasting on this Ekadashi purifies one of all sins and fulfills all one's desires. Therefore, whoever neglects to observe this sacred fast day is a good candidate for into hell. Ashada Shukla Ekadashi is also famous as Padma Ekadashi. Just to please the Lord, Supreme Lord Rishikesha, the master of the senses, one should fast on this day. Listen carefully, O Narada, as I relate to you a wonderful historical event that was recorded in the scriptures regarding this Ekadashi. Just hearing this account destroys all kinds of sins, along with all obstacles on the path to spiritual perfection. O son, there was once a saintly king in the Surya Vansha, Sun dynasty, whose name was Mandata. Before, because he always stood up for the truth, he was appointed emperor. He took care of his subjects as though they were his own very family members and children. On account of his piety and great religiosity, there was no pestilence, drought, any disease in any kind of any kind in his kingdom. All his subjects were not only freed of all disturbances, but were also very wealthy. The king's own treasury was freed of any ill-gotten monies, and thus he ruled happily for many years. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Sudevi. Now Vrinda will read. Vrinda.
Once, however, because of some sin in his kingdom, there was drought for 3 years. The subjects found themselves beside by famine. Also, the lack of food grains made it impossible for them to perform the prescribed Vedic sacrifices. After oblations
Oblation
of
ghee.
ghee to the forefathers and to the devatas engaged in my rituals, worship, or even studied the Vedic lectures. Finally, they all came before their beloved king in great assembly and addressed him thus: "O king, you always see to welfare, so we humbly beg your assistance now. Everyone and everything in the world needs water. Without water, almost everyone rendered unless or dead. The Vedas call water Nara, and because the Supreme Personality of Godhead sleeps upon water, his another name is Narayan. God makes his own abode on water and takes his rest there."
Thank you, Vrinda. Preeti Mataji, go ahead and read, Mataji, next paragraph. It is said from here. Preeti Mataji, unmute yourself, Mataji. I don't know, Mataji is not unmuting. Okay. It is said that, Preeti Mataji?
Krishna Mataji.
Yeah, please unmute. Not
Okay.
you, Mataji, the other Preeti Mataji raised her hand.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Preeti Mataji, you only. Go ahead, Mataji.
Oh, okay. Can you highlight where is I'm?
Yeah.
Okay. It is said that three things cannot exist without water, pearls, human being, and four. The essential quality of a pearl is its luster, and that is due to water. The essence of a man is his semen, whose main constituent is water. And without water, flour cannot be made into dough, and then he cooks into various form of bread, offered and eaten. Sometimes water is called Jalanaraya, the Supreme Lord in the form of this life, sustaining substance water. In his form as the clouds, the Supreme Lord is present is present throughout the sky and pours forth rains, from which grow the grains that maintain every living entity. O King, the severe drought has caused a great lack of valuable grains. Was thus we are all miserable, and the population is decreasing as people die of or leave your kingdom. O best ruler on earth, please find some solutions to this problem and bring us to peace and property once again. Hare Krishna,
Thank you,
Happy
Mataji.
Ekadasi to everybody. Thank you, Mataji.
The king replied, you speak the truth. For grains like uh, Brahmanas, the absolute truth, who lives within the grains and thereby sustains all beings in need. It is because of the grains that the entire world lives. Now, why is there terrible drought in our kingdom? The holy scriptures discuss this subject very thoroughly. If a king or a head of a country is irreligious, but he is subject suffer, I have meditated upon this cause of our problem for a long time. But after searching my past and present character, I can honestly say that I find no sin. Still, for the good of all the subject, I shall try to remedy the situation. Thinking in this way, King Mandata assembled his army and entourage, paid his obeisances to me, and then entered the forest. He wandered there here and there, seeking great sages in the ashrama, and inquire about how to resolve the crisis in his kingdom. Uh, at last, he came upon the ashrama of one of many other sons, Angira Muni, who influences it up all directions. Seated in his hermitage, Angira looked like a second Brahma. King Mandata was very pleased to see the exalted sage, whose senses were completely under control. The king immediately dismounted his horse and offered his respectful obeisances at the lotus feet of Angira Muni. Harita Mataji, would you like to read? I don't see anybody raising hand.
Yeah, sure, Mataji. Can you show me the exact?
Yeah, sure, Mataji. 1 second. Can you read from there, Mataji?
Okay. Then the king joined his palms and prayed for the Muni's blessings. The saintly person reciprocated by blessing the king with sacred mantras. Then he asked him about the welfare of the seven limbs of his kingdom. The seven limbs of king's domain are the king himself, the ministers, his treasury, his military forces, his allies, the Brahmins, the sacrificial performances performed in the kingdom, and the needs of the subjects under his care. After telling the sage how the seven limbs of his kingdom were situated, the king Mandata asked the sage about his own situation and if he was happy. The Angira Muni asked the king why he had undertaken such a difficult journey into the forest, and the king told him of the affliction his kingdom was suffering. The king said, "O great sage, I am ruling and maintaining my kingdom while following the Vedic injunctions, and thus I do not know the reason for the drought. To solve this mystery, I have approached you for help. Please help me relieve the suffering of my subjects." Angira Rishi said to the king, "The present age, Satya Yuga, is the best of all ages. For in this age, Dharma stands on all four legs: truthfulness, austerity, mercy, cleanliness. In this age, everyone respects Brahmins as the topmost members of society. Also, everyone fulfills his occupational duties, and only twice born Brahmins are allowed to perform Vedic austerities and penances. Although this is a standard, O lion among kings, there is one Shudra, uninitiated, untrained person who is unlawfully performing the rites of austerity and penance in your kingdom. This is why there is no rain in your land. You should therefore punish this laborer with death. For by so doing, you will remove the contamination inflicted by his actions and restore peace to your subjects. The king then replied, how can I kill an offenseless performer
Sarita
of
Mataji, one
austerity?
second, Mataji. There are other people raised
Yeah,
hand.
sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Hema Mataji, please go ahead.
Mataji. Yes. Angira Rishi said to the king, the present. Am I right, Mataji?
Yeah, read Mataji, read from there. Yes.
Okay. The present age, Satyuga, is the best of all ages. For in this age, Dharma stands on all four legs: truthfulness, austerity, mercy, and cleanliness. In this age, everyone respects Brahmins as the topmost members of society. Also, everyone fulfills his occupational duties, and only twice born Brahmins are allowed to perform Vedic austerities and penances. Although this is a standard, O lion among kings, there is one Shudra, uninitiated, untrained person who is unlawfully performing the rites of austerity and penance in your kingdom. This is why there is no rain in your land. You should therefore punish this laborer with death, or by so doing, you will remove all contaminations inflicted by his actions and restore peace to your subjects. The king then replied, how can I kill an offenseless performer or austerity and sacrifice? Please give me some spiritual solution. Thank you, Mataji.
Thank you, Mataji. Shivani, Mataji, please go ahead.
Hare Krishna. The great sage Angira Muni then said, O king, you should observe a fast on the Ekadashi that occurs during the light fortnight of the month of Akshara. This auspicious day is named Padma Ekadashi, and by its influence, plentiful rains and though grains and other foodstuffs will surely return to your kingdom. This Ekadashi bestows perfection upon its faithful observers, removes all kinds of bad elements, and destroys all obstacles on the path of perfection. O king, you, your relatives, and your subjects should all observe this sacred Ekadashi fast. Then everything in your kingdom will undoubtedly return to normal. Upon hearing these words, the king offered his obeisances and then returned to his palace. When the Padma Ekadashi arrived, King Mandara assembled all the Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishnavas, and Shudras in his kingdom and instructed them to strictly observe this important fast day. After they had observed it, the rain fell just as the sage has predicted. And in due course of time, there were abundant crops and a rich harvest of grain. By the mercy of Supreme Lord Rishikesha, the master of senses, all the subjects of King Mandata became extremely happy and prosperous. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Shivani Mataji. There is only one paragraph left. Is there anybody who did not get a chance and want to read? Okay, otherwise, Sudevi, please continue and finish it. This one.
Can I read, Mataji?
Who is that?
This is Sagri.
Oh, Suksakari Mataji. Please go ahead, Mataji.
Can you, if you don't mind, highlight the one?
Yeah, sure. From here only.
Okay, yeah, I got it. Thank you. Therefore, O Narada, everyone should observe this Ekadashi fast very strictly, for it bestows all kinds of happiness as well as ultimate liberation upon the faithful devotee. Lord Shri Krishna concluded, my dear Yudhishthira,
Padma Ekadashi is so powerful that one who simply reads or hears its glories becomes completely sinless. O Pandava, one who wishes to please me should strictly observe the Ekadashi, which is also known as Devashani Ekadashi. Devashani or Vishnu Shani indicates the day when Lord Vishnu goes to sleep with all the Devas. It is said that after this day, one should not perform any new auspicious ceremonies until Devothani Ekadashi, Haribodhini, Prabodhini, Devothani, Uttana Ekadashi, which occurs during the month of Kartika, October to November, because the Devas, being asleep, cannot be invited to the sacrificial arena, and because the sun is traveling along its southern course, Dakshinayana. Lord Sri Krishna continued, O lion among kings, Yudhishthira Maharaj, whoever wants liberation should regularly observe a fast on this Ekadashi, which is also the day when the Chaturmasya fast begins. Thus ends the narration of the glories of the Ashadha Shukla Ekadashi, also known as Padma Ekadashi or Devashani Ekadashi, from the Bhavishya Uttara Purana. Thank you, Mataji, and sorry, Sudevi.
Thank you, Suksagari Mataji. Thank you, everyone, for joining and reading Ekadasi Glories.